this question about where Nikki Haley's supporters go from here. Nikki Haley asking Donald Trump to actually try to win them over, try to earn their support. What are we likely to see from Trump and his response to all this? And do you think an endorsement could be possible down the road?
There's going to be a lot of speculation about whether or not Haley will endorse. Trump will be obsessed with this question in the days and weeks ahead, demanding and becoming angry if the endorsement does not come. I don't think Nikki Haley's endorsement will mean much of anything at all, because Nikki Haley went state after state, getting in the early primary states 40% of the vote. Now, in yesterday's Super Tuesday states, about 22% if you add them all together. Those were not people that were voting because they loved Nikki Haley and were going to follow Nikki Haley to wherever they were going to go. They were voting to register a protest against Donald Trump. And that's why you saw in the exit polls, not just last night, but in the earlier states, Nikki Haley voters saying that they are not, overwhelmingly majority of them, saying they are not inclined to vote for Donald Trump. So the big challenge here is, how does Trump get those voters? I thought it was interesting to hear Nikki Haley say that we need to turn away from hatred and division. Hatred and division are at the center of Donald Trump's campaign. Hatred towards those who he thinks have wronged him and America, and a very divisive message. I don't think Donald Trump is going to be out there actively courting these voters in a meaningful way.
And you talk, forgive me right now, I understand that we are getting a statement from the Biden campaign. And once we get that up, then we'll come back to that. But I'm going to follow up with you, John, real quick with another question, because you were talking about some of the exit polling as well that reflected some of the major concerns going forward for former President Donald Trump. How do they go ahead and address those issues going forward? You have this, I mean, again, it's not a huge portion of the Republican Party, but it's enough to make a significant difference in a general election, especially when we talk about independents and moderates.
Look, in a close race, this could be absolutely divisive. And let's say the obvious. In general election polls that we're seeing, Trump has a narrow lead over Joe Biden right now. It's very early, but when you get down to the actual voting, he's going to need the overwhelming majority of Republicans to vote for him. It's going to be a very close, very hard-fought election. And if you look at the exit polling, these were like, again, she had a clear, she lost. She had a clear minority, but it's a significant minority. And not just on the question of will you support Donald Trump, but on a number of major defining issues. These are two different parties. Nikki Haley voters believe that the election wasn't stolen. Donald Trump's voters absolutely think it was. They have vastly different views on things like abortion and immigration and the economy. This is not like a turn the light switch and they're suddenly going to go to Donald Trump.
And Mary, let's come to you. I understand that statement just came through from the Biden campaign.
Our inboxes here. The president commends Nikki Haley for having the courage to run, and then, as expected, makes a direct appeal to her supporters, saying Donald Trump made it clear he doesn't want Nikki Haley's supporters. I want to be clear there is a place for them in my campaign. He says he knows they won't agree on everything, but on the fundamental issues of preserving American democracy, that he believes they can find some common ground.
And Mary, while I have you here, just to follow up on that, the Biden campaign has been saying from the beginning this was going to be a rematch. Polling suggests that many Americans did not want to see this rematch. And actually, recently, in recent days, the polls have even shifted in Trump's favor in a head-to-head matchup. How is the Biden campaign addressing that and looking at that trend?
Yeah, look, they know this is going to be a very hard-fought campaign, harder and probably tighter than they had hoped and had expected. But they view this as a moment to really crystallize for voters the real stark differences between these two. I think in talking with the Biden campaign, they feel it hasn't fully registered for voters yet that we are, in fact, headed for this historic rematch. They are well aware that voters dislike both of them. They wish this wasn't the moment we are in. They know that the challenge ahead is not just going to be in making clear the stark choice here, but also in encouraging voters simply to get out and vote. This is going to be a race largely about momentum and support and enthusiasm.
They also see collective amnesia as a problem, is the way they see it, that people have forgotten what it was like, especially in Donald Trump's last year in office, that people have forgotten the way his term has ended, and they haven't paid enough attention to what he would actually do if he got elected again. So this is the beginning of a very long general election campaign. I would not put too much stock into polls right now saying how voters are going to vote in November.
Yep, just about 8 months to go. John Carl, Mary Bruce, our thanks to Rachel Scott and Eva Pilgrim as well.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.